everybody. Brandon Wagner here from Tribeca Color Salon. And as you hopefully know already, we are celebrating our 25 years in business in Tampa Bay. And to do a celebration of that, part of it is doing this podcast series. And with the podcast series, we're interviewing both our employees and also clients that actually are small business owners. I feel that as a small business owner myself in Tampa, the idea of networking, communicating, and like how we actually conduct our business and how we can actually help each other in the community is an important thing. So today I'm interviewing Jillian and KJ from the Leaven Brewery out in Riverview. So I want to say hi to you guys. How you doing?
Wow.
How's it going? So how long have you guys been in business for?
We have been in business. The brewery will turn 7 this year,
That's awesome.
but it feels like forever. We had access to the building for almost a full year before we actually opened the doors. So it feels like almost a decade, but we're not quite there.
Yeah.
Was that like the build out and everything took a year?
Yeah, we did everything ourselves because our budget was very shoestring. So every inch of this place we touched or scraped or painted or cleaned and did the whole design from decorative walls to plumbing to pouring a concrete bar.
Oh, that's great. So you guys have the skill set for that too, because that's an important thing is to be able to actually take care of stuff yourself. I try
I'm the
to
son of
like
a general
be a
contractor,
handyman.
so
Some of
you
us
are?
have the skills and some of us learned the skills.
Oh, no, that's awesome. Well, for both of you, I've actually thought about getting my GC just because it's like, wow, I mean, couldn't I just save a lot of money if I just did this all
yeah.
myself, right? So good for you. That is awesome because that's a great way to springboard your budget and the fact that you're saving a lot, not having to have
Mhm.
other people come in and take care of stuff. Yeah. So what I really don't know anything about the brewing industry. So I know that you specialize in something called true to style beers.
Yes.
So what does that mean?
Okay. Well, so I mean, there's many different types of doing types of beers and varieties and flavors out there. And so there's more experimental where you're going and dealing with different fruits and extracts and different taste profiles. And then there's also those classic styles that have been around for hundreds of years, developed by monks and German brewers, from centuries ago. We kind of stick to the classics. We have some experimental stuff every once in a while, but we're mostly known for, like I said, true to style.
Okay.
A beer will have a style guideline of, what makes a West Coast IPA. West Coast IPA it has to have this type of bitterness, this certain amount of clarity, color, alcohol percentages. And so it has to fit within that style guideline. You can make it outside of that style guideline, but it wouldn't be necessarily true to style.
Okay. So can I ask, why is that important to you? Is that something for the client or it's something like you're a purist? I'm a brewer, brewmaster. I don't know what the name is, but is that something that you're doing for yourself? Like, yes, this is the way beer is meant to be, or do you find that your clientele is embracing that versus I've seen some crazy beers, so how are you feeling about that and why are you doing that?
Um, Actually, it allowed us to stand out because so many people did these crazy experimental things. No one in our area was doing the classics.
Mhm.
Um, and so by being traditional, it actually allowed us to be different.
Very good. And I can see the idea of like your clients returning and the fact that they kind of know what they're going to get. Because I know that there's sometimes when I'm mostly like Hefeweizen is my beer of choice, but my friend like drinks sours and like I mean he's always let me like taste the sour beers that he drinks, and I'm like whoa, like I can't even believe that that's not even edible. Like, you can't
Yeah.
even like consume that. Um, but it's funny though because at least your clientele says, hey, I know that I can go and I can get my favorite beer whenever I want to get it instead of having to like, oh, is there another seasonal beer that I've got to like try? I'm forced to try
Yeah.
instead.
And
It's
we do have a
interesting.
good
So
mix where we have some seasonal rotational stuff in there. But if someone comes in and we don't have our Irish Red on, they're upset and going out the door to go someplace else where they have our Irish Red somewhere else. So
Okay, so what's an Irish red? Is that kind of like what am I thinking of? Big wise
The
Killians?
largest, like a Killian's would probably
Yes.
be the
Okay.
closest wide known example, but it's going to be a caramel forward, not hoppy beer, um, with that amber color that you
Mhm.
recognize from a Killian's.
Okay. What's your number one selling beer or beer type?
Cheeky blonde. Yeah.
Cheeky blonde. And what is
Cheeky.
that? What type of beer is that?
It's blonde ale. It's an easy drinker. So when we first came to Riverview, craft brewing isn't new by any means, but it was new to this area, and so you kind of had to teach everybody what the beers were. And the Cheeky Blonde is, I would say, the most approachable.
Hmm.
It's low in hops. It's very floral, a little bit sweet, light beer, something more like you would see in like big beer. 4.4%, something to sit by the pool or mow the lawn. You could have a couple of them and it's not going to knock you on your hiney.
That's so funny you say that because I always love looking at the ABV content on some
Yeah.
beers, and I'm like, it's amazing how you can really get messed up
Yeah.
off of beer. What's the highest ABV that you guys make?
So Smooth Criminal is 10.9%.
Very cool. I
So
like that. Now,
Yeah,
what
you have
type of beer
one
is
and
Smooth
time to
Criminal?
go home.
yeah,
I'm sorry, say it again.
You have one of those and then it's time to go home.
Awesome. That's great. Well, sometimes that's, that is the plan for the night, right?
good night.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I know that for myself, like I said, I like Hefeweizens and very easy to drink like Pilsners. Like my personal favorite like brand beer to drink, actually, I don't know if you scorn this or not, but is Modelo. Like it's just so easy to drink. So what do you find with your clientele? Like I want an easy beer to drink, but like my friends like love that sour kind of stuff. What do you find in your clientele? Are you attracting people because they're like, oh, these guys make a great sour, or like the exotic beers? Like, are you finding that your clientele really likes those off the chart, I would say, off the not as popular beers, but because you make them so well? Like, do you have a fan base on that versus just a general beer drinker like myself?
Yeah, no, there's definitely so when we design our board, we have a broad spectrum of styles. So we'll have a hoppy beer, we'll have a malty beer, we'll have a sour beer, we'll have a wheat beer, we'll have all these different things. So what I think what our regulars like is that they can come in with their friends. And some breweries, you can go to breweries and all they do is IPAs. And if you don't like IPAs, you're kind of out
Mhm.
of luck. Or all
Yeah.
they do is fruited sours. And if you don't like that, you're kind of out of luck. We have a good wide spectrum that cast a broad net, and we you know may not be the best, but we execute each one of them to a high standard.
Very good. Okay. How many beers do you have at any one time?
12.
Well,
Cool. Okay. And you rotate those 12 out.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. Okay, awesome. And your restaurant also
Yes.
serve food?
yes,
Excellent.
we
Very
have a
good.
small sandwich kitchen.
Yeah.
Cool. Very good. Okay. Now, as a small business, been 7 years, you're doing very well from what it seems. Very popular brewery. What's it like running a business like a brewery?
It's like herding anarchist cats.
I love that.
Yeah.
Now,
Um,
why is that?
Oh, well,
it's mostly the kitchen that I don't know if you've ever worked or been part of a
Hmm.
kitchen,
Yeah.
but those back of house guys are a different breed,
Hmm.
and it's not a easy or glorious job, um, but they do a good job back there, and so it's just so many different personalities that you have to deal with, and personality types,
Hmm.
from your bartender, which is usually your outgoing, personable, you know, and then you have kitchen people who don't like to be around people, and but they still have to interact with people. So it's it's interesting for sure.
Yeah,
So
well, that's the hardest part is
yeah,
managing people just in general.
100%.
So you just have to kind of find like where your relationship sits with, your employee and just find the way that you guys can communicate back and forth.
Correct.
And that
Yeah.
is hard. But it's so funny because I say, so my salon, of course, it's all hairdressers, right? So
Yeah.
basically we're artistic and, rock and rollers and just, it's kind of funny because you say herding. I always say herding kittens. I love the idea of herding anarchist kittens because that makes it like, that just ups the ante right there. And I can
Yeah.
agree with you on that. So, what are some of the things that you have to worry about in the brewing industry? I know that there is some difficulty with certain laws and such like that with brewing. So, can you tell me us what that's about?
Yeah, well, number one problem with the brewing industry is we pay way too much money to people in the middle. So we
Is
are,
that ingredients?
it's everywhere,
Yeah.
really. I mean, you look at any of our costs, and it's always like
Taxes.
the taxes, just the unnecessary added. You know, when you're like checking out for a concert, and you're like, um, make sure someone had fun fee. You're like, what is
Yeah.
that? Like, we just stumble upon a lot of those in brewing, and we've found that we've been able to shift a few of them, or at least bring attention to them, where even the state is going, yeah, you're right, maybe that one doesn't make a lot of sense. Something unfair, like if you were sending your beer out in cans, in 16-ounce cans versus sending them out in 12-ounce cans, you were getting taxed with an umbrella tax instead of taxing per like volume of can. They were just taxing you on the greater amount, no matter how much you were selling or sending out. Uh,
Wow.
but yeah, we're really grateful here at Leaven to have a partner in JJ Taylor. They're our distributor. Um, so the way Florida works is we have a 3-tier system where we make the beer, JJ Taylor buys the beer, and then ships it out to restaurants where its like final location is.
Cool.
We wouldn't be set to do self-distribution because it requires essentially another business of shipping and cooled trucks and all that. But like, we have a sushi restaurant next door, and I should be able to walk over with a keg and just be like, here y'all go. And we are not allowed to do that.
Yeah, of course.
So,
But that's great. Okay, so you're saying that your beer is available in local restaurants, like
yeah.
on draft.
We're in over 160 different restaurants or bars in the Greater Bay Area.
That's fantastic. Okay, that's great. But what you're saying though is that certain limitations or certain things are expected of you because you are selling in that way.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So going into the draft kegs, that's doing very well for you. The cans, like you had mentioned, the size of the cans. So is there a paywall in front of that? Like is very difficult to branch into like the canning aspect of it? Like are the kegs the way to go,
Well,
or do you see
with the
yourself going?
canning, you're dealing with such large companies that will create brands to look as if they are craft and local. Um, and the economies of scale that they're
Mm,
putting product in there, we can't compete on a public shelf. There are very few truly independent local cans on a shelf in Publix. They're Budweiser, AB InBev will buy regional breweries and completely dilute their brand, but use their brand identity and put that and say that that's local craft, but it's owned by
wow.
a international Dutch business.
Wow,
Yeah,
interesting. So, can I ask because we need to protect you guys, right? Because being a small business, being the local craft brewer, how can we talk about the consumer knowing that? Like, how does someone like, do we have to turn around the back of the can and see who the distributor is? Like, how can we inform the client or the customer about this?
yeah, we do have through the Brewers Association. There's like a seal. It's on my door. You wouldn't see it well if I turn the camera, but it says on it that it's independent craft. It's like an upside down beer bottle. So anything
Okay.
branded as that, you're gonna see has been someone like us, small local brewery. Actually, I think PJ's grabbing one of our cans here.
Oh, cool.
so Cheeky blonde, kind of looks familiar, right? Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
So if you see this little seal right there, see where's that upside
Okay.
down bottle?
Yes.
That is the Brewers Association certified independent.
Oh,
Yes.
cool. Okay. So what are the requirements to be considered part of that?
You can't be part of a conglomerate. It has to be um, below a certain. I don't think it's. I mean, the number's like 60,000 barrels or something like that. But basically, you can't be part of these conglomerates where um, you know, like Modelo owns. I know you said Modelo's your favorite, but they own like 50 different brands.
Mhm.
So you couldn't be part of that. That I think it's Constellation Brands is what that parent company is. So
Okay. Well, I'm definitely going to be much more choosier on my beers for
I think
sure.
you're.
Yeah,
I mean,
totally.
and the biggest thing is just to go into your local tap room and have a beer there, grab a sandwich, bring some friends to your local tap room, and that's where we truly make our margins. Out in distribution, the margins are minimal. It's good cash flow, but the margins are made in the tasting room.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
I can understand that. Well, it's been great talking to you. I love talking to other small business owners because I know the difficulties and I can definitely tell that some of the hurdles that you've actually had to overcome. But sounds like you're doing a great job out there. I'll definitely get my butt out there and try some of your beers and such.
come
Okay.
see.
So thanks for spending the past few minutes with us and everything. And best of luck with everything. Keep on pushing. It sounds like you're doing a great job.
I appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cool. All right. Thank you guys. See you again.
All right.
All right. Bye.